we will install a new application using apt. Remember that, imagine that we want to use Git. Git is an application for managing code repositories, and we don't have this in our system. To install this using the package, we will need to go here, here or somewhere, download the package, install the package, check for the dependencies, on, and all that. But we are not doing that. We are installing the package using apt. So I've updated the repositories. I've run apt update to get a fresh copy of the repositories, and then I want to install it. It's as simple as just performing this, executing this command. Okay, but before that, I want to show you that we can get a lot of information about this. How to see more in depth how it works. So the first thing that we want to that we can do, for example, is to check for the dependencies of this application. So I can execute this depends git, and it gives us a lot of information about the application. And this application, we doesn't have the dev file here. I haven't downloaded it. To show this information, the apt has depends on the remote repository. It has fetched all the information. It now has it in the cache in the local database, but all this information is maintained by a remote repository. Okay, it's on the internet somewhere. We will see it later, and it tells us the dependencies and more information here. For example, it tells us that if we install this package, we have these dependencies, but those packages will be broken. So we can't install Git if we have one of those packages installed. And it also recommends another packages. And we have all the information here. We have suggested packages. So for example, if we install Git, then maybe it will be useful for us to install these packages and whatever. And this information comes from the remote repository. And for example, we can also show information about an application that we don't have installed. For example, apt. So leave init1 here, and it gives, if you remember the deb package, dpkg info, it's the more or less the same information, but this time we don't need the deb file. We have all this information in the repository. So to install the application, we have we don't need to check dependencies or whatever, because all the dependencies, remember, I'm going to get pens git. I'm going to keep this in this window, okay, this tab. I have all the dependencies. Now, if we install the package, what it's doing this, okay? It's telling, okay, checks some information, and it tells us that some additional packages will be installed. Those packages we don't have, they are needed by Git, but we don't have them in our system. So apt will go to the repository, fetch the dev files, and install them. Also the dev file for Git. And well, additional packages, and these packages will be installed too, okay? So we have, in one order, we are installing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 packages, and without downloading a file or whatever. So we just tell yes, and it's installing all the packages, and when we finish, we will have Git installed in our system. As you can see, it's much more convenient than than using the DPKG by hand manually, because DPKG is a low-level package manager.